July was one of the busiest months we've seen in Kelowna real estate since 2021. Even with fewer newer listings coming online, buyers were out there making moves, and the numbers tell a clear story. We're going to break it down right now in this video, the July real estate market statistics for Kelowna. Right now, we're breaking down the 2025 for July market overview. So overall in the marketplace, it was a good month, but by all means, we're still below what the 10-year average was. Total single-family sales in Kelowna was 212, which is down from what it was last month, the real estate market. So total sales on it, see the arrows pointing down, just meaning it was down month over month. This was our busiest July since 2021. So this is a good sign overall. We're starting to see, we have a slower spring. And so we're starting to see potentially a little bit of overlay and people finally pulling the trigger. A lot of things are happening in the federal front and negotiation, tariffs, and uncertainty. And so uncertainty is starting, people are starting to get normal to it and realizing that some of the tariffs might delay 30 days, almost changing everything. So that's just something to keep in mind, that things are always changing in the market. So we did see active buyer on it, and we saw it on a weekly basis. So if you are interested in to buy, or if you're actively on the marketplace or looking to put on the market, tracking it on the weekly basis, go looking at it, and we're averaging right around 90 to 100 sales right now a week overall in the marketplace. So stay tuned and watch on Mondays as I produce the Kelowna Real Estate Weekly video. But coming back to the July statistics, we saw inventory coming down a little bit. So less opportunities out there, some of it's being absorbed. Less new listings coming on the market. And overall, I mean, our months of inventory is still increasing. So even though we had an influx of total sales, that was really taken up by a lot of the influx in the condo market, which I'll break down in that actually. And so we're seeing a month of inventory come up there. Average price point on these $1,089,000, and the median price point was $936,000. So why is there such a gap in it? We are seeing a lot in the two numbers. We're starting to see a lot of the higher end properties sell. The Real Estate Weekly I'm highlighting a $7.7 million property on Consortium that just sold, all the way down to a $130,000 recreational waterfront property in land. So there is a range of places, a range of prices, and things are still kind of selling if you're looking at the marketplace. That interests you. But that is why we're seeing a little higher range on it. Just a lot of those higher properties. So we're going to see a little bit bigger up. Hey everybody, it's Mark Coons here with the Selling Kelowna Real Estate Group, and we're a local real estate agency here looking to help home buyers buy, sell, and invest in the real estate market in Kelowna. So if that sounds like you, if you're looking at the real estate market. All right, now that you've heard the words from our sponsor, I'm going to get right back into it. Now we're breaking down the hottest neighborhoods since this year, 2025, year to date. So we're looking at the total number of sales. Here's the top 20 neighborhoods where we're seeing Lower Mission having the highest amount of sales. And the sold price to list price, the blue lines, what you see is the areas where there is less negotiation room and selling for 97.8% of ask price right there in Glenmore, showing us that homes are still being bought in these neighborhoods at a lower level, but they're willing to negotiate less in those neighborhoods, or not willing to. They have been negotiating less. So that's an indication of how much demand there is for a lot of these properties. And it also comes down to sellers and how well they're pricing it on it. You look at Lakeview Heights, though, that is the biggest range. We're also seeing some of the higher value ones in that. So do expect some of the higher value ones to have a bigger range because they have more room to negotiate on it. And Lakeview Heights is normally one of the hottest markets there. We're just seeing over 100 listings that had sold so far in 2025. But here is the top 20 as you look at it, and still a lot of negotiation room in a lot of these places, and just showing indications on how many properties, how much demand. I'm looking at the condo market right now before we're going to touch on the townhome market, what's happening. But this is where the market that had the biggest impact in July, where we had the first month in 2025 we cracked over 100 sales. Things might be coming back, but it is, you never know, right? So there's a lot of uncertainty on the market, and especially if you're a home buyer, the condo market, looking for that type of property. One thing to watch too is CMHC is releasing the vacancy rates come October. And so what is important about the CMHC vacancy rate? Well, if you remember, short-term rental restrictions that were implemented from the provincial government is all tied to the vacancy rate. And now and it is expected to be around 5% of vacancy rate this year. And last year it was over 3%. So that will be 2 consecutive years in Kelowna that we have a higher vacancy rate than 3%. So this is going to give the city of Kelowna, this is what it matters to you as a homeowner, home buyer, whatever you are. Short-term rental restrictions, the city of Kelowna might have the opportunity come October to remove the ban. West Kelowna right now didn't opt into it. Keep in mind. So there is a lot of a misnomer right now in the short-term rental rules and restriction opportunities. So keep in mind and keep a watch on that. Coming October might make a good time, might see a little bit more of a rebound and see some of those investors enter the market again. Median price is increasing just due to demand is increasing. Still lots of properties on the market. New listings was at 265 up, but 971 active listings on the marketplace. So we're starting to see a lot of it. And this is the highest number of condo sales since 2024. So in over a year, it's a great shift and we're seeing a little bit of a rebound on it. Breaking down, looking at the townhome market, total sales, 61 sales, average price point staying fairly steady at 660,000. And the average price point at 705,000, which is up slightly. And heat price at 660. Townhomes are really good options for first-time home buyers. And this is one thing that the federal government did in May was that buyer rebate for GST. But I think they missed the mark a little bit. We're starting to see an impact because in May, we did see an increase. Once they announced it, we saw an increase in the first-time home buyer getting into the market and impact on new construction townhomes. But because it's a rebate and you still have to qualify for the 5%, not a lot of home buyers are willing to take advantage of it. They're still waiting on the fence. As I already mentioned, the apartment and condo market is really showing one of the strongest recovery signals in the marketplace. It still has a huge hurdle to overcome here, but it might be in better shape come October. So if you are interested in the condo market, waiting until October is probably not a bad idea. Really what's happening in October is the short-term rental restrictions. They come up and are mandated through the CMHC vacancy rate. And come October is when they produce the new vacancy rate report for all over Canada. But this is really why it's going to be important to watch on it, is because if we were over 3% last year for a vacancy rate, and this year it's predicted to be around 5%. So what that means is the city of Kelowna has the opportunity to potentially opt out of the short-term rental restrictions. So this is big things happening right now. So if you're a home seller in the marketplace, maybe holding on and not negotiating down in price and going actively, you can hold on for another 6 months until next spring. You might be in a better position once the city of Kelowna reviews their new mandates. Looking at the market overall for British Columbia, so the total sales, 7,056 total sales, which is up year over year, 2.2%. But provincial sales are also below the 16%, the 10-year average. So this is we're seeing increase over last year. However, we're still down 16% from where we were over the 10-year average. So there is still a lot of indications on it, but positive change is good. It's really being brought down, as you'll see. And we're also seeing prices come down 2.1%. So the Okanagan sales are up 10% year over year. So we're leading in one of the areas with provincial growth. Kamloops is also at 8.8%. Kootenay area is one of the hottest markets right now. Absolutely love it. 11% and 9.8% on Vancouver Island. When you're looking at this, the greater Vancouver sales is down. And so this is where you're really bringing down. Fraser Valley and the greater Vancouver areas are really bringing down the total number of sales there on it. So that is where you're seeing the average overall. So what does this mean as a home buyer or as a home seller? So for home buyers, you have an expanded selection of homes. Okay. There's a lot of condo and townhome opportunities right now and lots of negotiation. So feel free to make offer. Be willing to negotiate on a lot of these properties. Homes are selling for below ask price. Right around 96% of ask price is where homes are going for in today's market right now. For sellers, you really need to be dialed in and strategically price. And there is an apartment advantage we're starting to see, but single family homes is where the money is going to be. So if you're in a single family home, the value should hold. So if you are super motivated, price it properly and it will sell. And really making sure you only have one chance for a first impression. So your presentation truly matters. You need to have it dialed in right from the get-go. So if you're thinking about buying, if you think about selling, or have any questions on the real estate market in Kelowna, just anything at all, please reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text message, whatever you need, we got your back.